Good afternoon, sir, and to my classmates. Today, we will be your lecturers for the remaining topics in Intermediate Accounting 3. Before anything else, I am Maria Angelica Paglinawan, and I am here to present Chapter 5, Statement of Comprehensive Income, which focuses on net income and comprehensive income. Comprehensive income is a figure that represents the combined net income and other comprehensive income of a company. It is a measure of the changes in a company's asset during a specified period that comes from non-owner sources or the total non-owner changes in equity. Comprehensive income includes both net and unrealized income to give a bigger view of a company's overall worth through unrealized profits and losses. Bakit importante na pag-aralan natin ito? Sa isang company, the comprehensive income is important because the amounts help to reflect a company's true income during a specific time period. Dahil kapag hindi daw maganda ang takbo ng isang company pero maayos naman ang investments, yung realization ng ibang assets ay makakatulong sa pagpapatuloy ng takbo ng isang company kahit na mababa na yung profit. As well na kung ang investments naman ang mababa, nagre-reflect ito in multiple comprehensive income statements. Then maybe, yun yung sign for the company to rethink its investment strategy. When large companies share financial information with shareholders, pinapakita nila yung kung paano yung investments and other potential sources of income can contribute to the growth of companies' funds. At ginagawa nila yon by reporting something called comprehensive income, which is a way to give stakeholders a view of all the interest beside a business sales revenue. And other comprehensive income comprises items of income and expense including reclassifications adjustments that are not recognized in profit or loss as required or permitted by Philippine financial reporting standards. In this chapter, we have 10 problems with different types and requirements na hinihingi. For problem 5-1, we're going to find the adjusted net income. For problem 5-2, income before tax. Problem 5-3, income for continuing operations and also net income. 5-4, we're going to find other comprehensive income and comprehensive income. For problem 5-5 and 5-6, income for continuing operations. 5-7, we're going to look also for the cost of goods manufactured and income for continuing operations. 5-8, net income. 5-9, we're going to find total income before tax, total expenses before tax, net income, and comprehensive income. And lastly, for problem 5-10, we're going to find cost of goods sold, total expenses before income, net income, and retained earnings. So now let's proceed to the problems.
For problem 5-1, Torp Company reported net income of 7,500,000 for the current year, which included the following amounts: unrealized loss on foreign currency translation amounting to 500,000, gain on early retirement of bonds payable which is 2,200,000, debit adjustment of profit of prior year for error in depreciation net of tax effect amounting to 750,000, and loss from fire amounting to 1,400,000. So the question is, what amount should be reported as adjusted net income? Letter A, 6,250,000, B, 9,500,000, C, 8 million, and D, 8,750,000. So the unrealized loss on foreign currency translation is reported as an adjustment to stockholders' equity as a component of other comprehensive income. It should be added back to net income. The gain on early retirement of bonds and the loss from fire are both properly included in net income, though their being reported net of tax effects on the income statement is in error. The adjustment of profits of prior years due to the correction of an error is a prior period adjustment and should also be added back to the current year's income. As a result, the current year's adjusted income will be 7,500,000 plus 500,000 plus 750,000 or 8,750,000, which is letter D.
Problem 5-2. Ang hinahanap quiz amount should be reported as income before tax. So let's proceed first to the problem. Pearl Company reported income before tax of 5 million for the current year, which included the following amounts. Ang company daw po ay may equity in earnings of 40% interest na 1,600,000, dividend received from Sin Company na 400,000, credit adjustment of profit of prior year for arithmetical error and depreciation na 500,000, and gain on sale of equity investment at fair value of other comprehensive income na 1 million. So let's proceed to the solutions. Yung prior period error dito ay deducted dahil it is shown as an addition in the statement of retained earnings. Yung dividend received from naman dito ay incorrectly included in income dahil it is treated as a return of investment since the interest is 40%. At ang ginamit nating method is equity method. Yung equity earnings naman ng company ay properly part na talaga ng income dahil nga in-apply yung nung entity yung equity method. While the gain on sale of equity investment at fair value of other comprehensive income ay di included sa profit or loss pero recognize siya directly sa retained earnings, kaya included sila sa pag-compute. So para makuha natin ang income before tax, ang gagawin natin is ililess natin yung total ng dividend received from SIN, adjustment of profit of prior year of at ng gain on sale of equity investment sa reported income before tax. So makikita naman natin dito sa solutions yung total ng tatlo, which is amounting 1,900,000. So yung reported income before tax na 5 million minus 1,900,000 at makukuha na natin yung corrected income before tax na 3,100,000. So the answer is letter D.
Problem 5-3. Remy Company had the following events and transactions during 2021. Depreciation for 2020 was discovered to be understated by 300,000. A litigation settlement resulted in a loss of 250,000. The inventory on December 31, 2019 was overstated by 200,000. The entity disposed of a recreational division at a loss of 600,000. Tapos, yung income tax rate daw ay 30%. So, for the first question in this problem, ang hahanapin natin ay yung income for continuing operations for 2021. Yung depreciation ay hindi siya kasama sa pagkuha nun kasi ang depreciation error is treated retrospectively as a correction for retained earnings. Yung litigation for settlement na sabi dito ay nagresulta daw sa loss na 250,000. Yes, kasama siya sa pagkuha nun. Tapos sabi sa problem, the income tax rate daw ay 30%. So para makuha yung income ay ita-times natin yung litigation settlement na 250,000 sa income tax rate na 30%. Tapos yung makukuha nating amount doon ay ibabawas pa ulit natin sa litigation settlement na 250,000. So makakakuha na tayo ng after-tax effect on litigation loss na 175,000. Pero may mas madali namang paraan sa pagkuha ng mga after-tax. Since 30% ang income tax rate ay ibabawas lamang natin siya sa 100% para makukuha ng 70% na siya naman nating imumultiply sa litigation settlement na 250,000. So 250,000 times 70% ay makakakuha tayo ng sagot na 175,000. Paliwanag ko na din na yung error sa inventory is a counterbalancing. Tapos yung loss on recreational division naman ay part ng discontinued operations and not included in income from continuing operations. Next po ay si Miss si Miss Valenzuela.
For the second question, What is the effect of these events on net income for 2021? So dito sa problem nito ay pumapasok yung separate disclosure, and paragraph 98 of PAS 1 provides the circumstances that would give rise to the separate disclosure of items of income and expense, and kasama dito yung litigation settlement and discontinued operation. Let's first define the two. A settlement resulting from the litigation is money that is paid to the party bringing the suit in return for damages and based on the decisions of the court. For the business that receives the settlement, the money counts as gain, and for the party that paid the settlement money, reported ito as loss naman. As you can see from the problem is may litigation loss tayo, so may epekto ito sa income natin kaya included ito sa ating computation. The other one is the discontinued operation, which is defined as part of a firm's operation that has been divested or shut down. It may still make a gain or loss in the accounting period it ceased operations. So, may epekto pa rin ito sa income natin, kaya kasali din ito sa ating computation. So, proceed na tayo sa solution natin. Since kailangan nating malaman ang total effect on net income, or basically income after taxes and other deductions, may two options tayo to calculate it tulad ng sabi rin ni CJ. Pwede nating i-multiply yung 30% income tax rate sa amount ng litigation and discontinued operation para makuha yung income tax na i-deduct naman sa amount ng dalawa to get the net loss. Or pwede naman tayo mag-shortcut tulad ng ginawa sa solution dito, which is minultiply lang sa 70% yung mga amount ng litigation loss and discontinued operation loss. So, para makuha yung total effect on net income, i-sum up lang natin yung nakuha na 175,000 na after-tax effect on litigation loss and 420,000 na after-tax effect loss on discontinued operations, and we'll get a total effect on net income of 595,000. So, ang next reporter po is si Mr. Rivares. Thank you.
So, magandang araw po. Para po sa problem 5-4, ang topic po natin dito ay yung other comprehensive income. So, proceed na po tayo sa problem. So, for the current year, Divina Company provided the following information. We have income from continuing operations amounting to 4 million, income from discontinued operations 500,000, unrealized gain on financial asset, fair value through profit and loss amounting to 800,000, unrealized loss on equity investment fair value through other comprehensive income 1 million, unrealized gain on debit investment fair value on through other comprehensive income which is 1.2 million, unrealized gain on future contract designated as a cash flow hedge na 400,000, translation loss on foreign operation na 200,000, net remeasurement gain on defined benefit plan na 600,000, loss on credit risk of financial liability at fair value profit and loss na 300,000, at revaluation surplus during the year na 2.5 million. So for question number 1, ang hinahanap po natin dito is yung net amount na dapat i-report as other comprehensive income for the current year. Ano nga po ba ang other comprehensive income? Other comprehensive income comprises items of income and expense including reclassification adjustments that are not recognized in profit or loss as required or permitted by the Philippine Financial Reporting Standards. In short, ito yung mga income at expenses na hindi pa nare-recognize sa ating profit or loss account. Bali, ang components daw ng other comprehensive income ay yung mga sumusunod. First, yung unrealized gain or loss nila sa equity investment na mineasure at fair value through other comprehensive income. Next is yung unrealized gain or loss sa debt investment nila na mineasure din sa fair value through other comprehensive income. Then, yung gain or loss nila from translating the financial statement ng foreign operations. Then, yung revaluation surplus nila during the year, yung unrealized gain or loss nila mula sa derivative contracts not designated as cash flow hedge. Yung next is yung remeasurement nila ng defined benefit plan. At ang panghuli ay yung pagbabago sa fair value na may kinalaman sa credit risk ng financial liability designated at fair value, profit or loss. So, balik po tayo sa ating solution. I-identify po natin mula sa given information kung alin ba dito yung mga kasali sa other comprehensive income based dun sa mga sinabi kong components kanina. So, ang mga kasama sa pag-compute natin ng net amount ng other comprehensive income is first yung unrealized loss on equity investment which amounts to 1 million. So, i-deduct natin siya kasi siya ay loss. Unrealized gain on debit investment na 1.2 million. So, gain siya, kaya dagdag siya. Unrealized gain on future contract designated as a cash flow hedge na 400,000. So, i-add ulit to. Yung translation loss on foreign operation na 200,000 deduction. Net remeasurement gain on defined benefit plan 600,000 addition. So, loss on credit risk of financial liability 300,000 a deduction din. And then yung revaluation surplus during the year na 2.5 million which is a gain. So, computing lang natin, we will get a total net amount of other comprehensive income na 3.2 million which is a gain, which is letter C. So, thank you po. Next po natin is Miss Linga.
For the second question of problem 5-4, we're going to find for the net amount in other comprehensive income that should be reclassified to retained earnings. A, 1,800,000, B, 1,400,000, C, 3 million, and letter D, 1,600,000. Let's proceed to the solution next slide. When we say reclassification, it is often referred as recycling, wherein yung isang amount ay nililipat natin from one ledger account to another. Kapag ang isang item ay na-reclassify to the profit or loss, in accordance with an accounting standard, yung amount na nandun sa OCI ay matatransfer sa profit or loss, and yung amount naman na accumulated sa OCI in the equity portion in the balance sheet ay malilipat naman to retained earnings. We do reclassify items naman to avoid double counting of items na kasama sa net income in the reporting period. And yung mga na-report ng una in other comprehensive income or yung OCI. When we say other comprehensive income pala, ito yung mga income, expenses, gains at losses na hindi pa kasama or nare-realize sa net income sa income statement. Kinakatawan ng OCI yung balanse sa pagitan ng net income at comprehensive income. So, dun nga sa solution, included po yung unrealized loss on equity investment at fair value through other comprehensive income na 1 million, then yung net measurement gain na 600,000, then we're going to deduct the loss on credit risk of financial liability at fair value through profit or loss na 300,000, and revaluation surplus during the year na 2,500,000. So, 1 million, negative 1 million, plus 600,000 minus 300,000, plus 2,500,000 is equal to 1,800,000. So, the answer is letter A. Next problem, Miss Maigting po.
So for question 3 of problem 5-4, what amount should be reported as comprehensive income for the current year? So let's define muna kung ano ba yung comprehensive income. It is the change in equity during a period dahil sa mga nangyaring transactions at iba pang events, other than the changes na nangyari naman dahil sa transactions with owners in their capacity as owners. So, bukod yung changes na nangyari dahil sa transaction ng owners sa changes na nangyari naman dahil sa ordinary course ng business. It includes components of profit or loss o yung revenue and expenses, kung saan dito makukuha ang net income at saka components ng other comprehensive income na na-discuss na sa question 1. Ngayong alam na natin ang components ng comprehensive income, tingnan na natin kung ano sa mga transactions ang kasama dito. So una na nga, ang revenue and expenses. Sa problem, makikita natin na income or revenue lang ang given at walang expenses. Then given na din ang OCI na nakompute na nga sa question number 1. So, proceed na tayo sa solution. So, yung income from continuing operations na 4 million ay i-add natin sa income from discontinued operation na 500,000. to get the net income of 4,500,000. I-add na lang natin to sa nakuhang OCI na 3,200,000, kaya naman meron tayong 7,700,000 na total comprehensive income. Next po.
Next, we have problem 5-5. Dito ang nahanap ay ang amount ng income to be reported from continuing operations. So, tingnan muna natin yung problem. So, Bangladesh company provided the following information for the current year. 50 million sales, 30 million cost of goods sold, 5 million distribution cost, 4 million general and administrative expenses, 2 million interest expense, 500,000 gain on early extinguishment of long-term debt, a 1 million correction of inventory error, net of income tax, a credit, 3 million investment income using equity method, a 2 million gain on expropriation, 5 million income tax expense, and a 2 million dividends declared. So what amount should be reported as income from continuing operations? So I do believe na ang pag-compute ng net income under statement of comprehensive income ay super easy na sa inyo, since almost the same naman na ito sa income statement, wherein the only difference is that the statement of comprehensive includes realized and unrealized income and shows that the more detailed view of a company's net income which is not fully captured on the income statement. But still, let me explain and discuss pa din this problem and kung ano ang included sa pagkuha ng net income. So as we all know naman na ang net income is what the business has left over after deducting all expenses, including salary and wages, cost of goods or raw materials, and taxes. Also, statements of comprehensive income starts with the profit or loss as shown in the income statement, plus or minus the components of other comprehensive income. Basically, to compute for the OCI, ay plus or deduct lamang natin yung unrealized gain or losses from the profit or loss na nakuha natin sa income statement. But makikita sa given data na hindi provided yung net income or loss mula sa income statement. Thus, kumputin na natin ito ng diretso, which is known as the single statement of comprehensive income or the combined income statement and statement of comprehensive income, which just like the income statement format, ang pinagkaiba nga lamang ay include na natin yung mga gains or losses. So, start na tayo. Isa-isahin muna natin. First, hanapin muna natin yung mga pwede makategorize as income. So, yung sales at cost of goods sold ay obviously included. So, 50 million minus 30 million and will arrive sa gross income na 20 million. Another ay the entity has invested income na 3 million as well as 2 million na gain from expropriation. Add lamang natin at makukuha natin ang total income na 25 million. Next ay yung mga expenses. So, under paragraph of PAS 1, may two forms ang income statement at dito ang gagamitin ay ang functional presentation wherein classified according sa kanilang functions such as distribution cost, administrative, finance, cost, and such ang mga expenses. Kaya under expenses, meron tayong distribution cost totaled 5 million which is given, a general and administrative cost which is given din amounting to 4 million, at mayroon din na finance cost na 1.5 million. So, saan galing ang finance cost na 1.5 million? Kasi ang sabi, finance-related cost may be excluded from the operating expenses definition on the grounds that they are not generated by the ongoing operations of a business. But, if these costs were to be included, examples would include auditor fees, bank fees, debt placement cost, and interest expense. So, makikita sa lower part ng solution ay yung pagkuha ng finance cost. So, di ba may given datang entity na interest expense na 2 million at mapapansin din na ni-deduct ang early gain on extinguishment of long-term debt. So, deducted siya because di ba kapag long-term debt, bale, nag-record na agad ng interest expense ang entity starting from the acquisition to the maturity date. Then, amortize na lamang throughout the year. Likewise, when a firm extinguishes its debt prior to maturity, there will be gain or losses. This gain or loss is the difference between the
reacquisition price, and the carrying value of the bonds. But before recording the gain or the loss, the carrying value must be adjusted for any discount or premium amortization up to the date the bonds are retired. Similarly, si Bangladesh Company ay nag-record na ng interest expenses nitong long-term debt, then subsequently they extinguished it. Therefore, kailangan ibawas iyong gain from the interest expense para mabawasan nga ni ito. Tama po ba, sir? So, ayun po. So, ang total expenses ay 10.5 billion. Total income na 25 million minus 10.5 ay makukuha natin ang income before tax na 14,500,000. Then mayroon pang income tax expense ang entity amounting to 5 million, so deduct natin and will arrive na sa net income na 9.5 million. So the answer is letter C. Additionally, yung dividends declared at correction of inventory item which is a prior period error ay hindi included sa statement of comprehensive income dahil sa statement of retained earnings sila kasama. So ayun po, next problem will be reported by Mr. Peregrine. By the way, kamusta po yung explanation, Mr. Plata? Thank you.
Problem 5-6. So, ang hinahanap po sa problem na ito ay katulad lang din ng problem 5-5, income from continuing operation. So, Rosebud Company provided the following information for the current year. Sales ay 5 million, cost of goods sold 2,800,000, foreign translation adjustment with credit balance na 400,000, selling expenses 700,000, unusual and infrequent gain 400,000, correction of inventory error 200,000, general and administrative expenses 600,000, income tax expense 150,000, gain on sale of investment 50,000, proceeds from sale of land at cost 800,000, dividends na 300,000. So again, ang hinahanap po sa problem na ito ay income from continuing operation. Kung mapapansin po natin, andyan naman na lahat sa given yung mga kailangan natin for the computation of income for continuing operation. So to compute income from continuing operations, we just need to subtract the cost of goods sold and expenses from the revenue or sales from the day-to-day operation ng business. So, kuhain na kaagad natin sa given yung sales na 5 million at cost of goods sold na 2,800,000. Proceed po tayo sa solution. So, katulad ng nakikita nyo sa ating solution, sales minus cost of goods sold, makakuha tayo ng gross income na 2,200,000. Then, i-add natin yung other income na 450,000 to get the total income. So, saan ang galing yung 450,000 na other income? Kung makikita po natin sa problem, meron doon na unusual and infrequent gain amounting to 400,000 and gain on sale of investment na 50,000. So, doon po nanggaling yung other income na 450,000. So, ba't hindi kasama yung proceeds from sale of land at cost na 800,000? Since income from continuing operations, which means operating income ang ating hinahanap, ibig sabihin income from its normal operation. So we do not include any gain or losses from irregular business activities such as sales of business assets. Katulad ng nasa given na proceeds from sale of land. So meron lang tayong other income na 450,000 na i-add natin sa gross income na 2,200,000. Therefore, magkakaroon tayo ng total income na 2,650,000. After that, i-deduct natin yung mga expenses na makikita natin sa given. Based sa given, merong selling expenses na 700,000 at general and administrative expenses na 600,000. So, ang total amount ng ating expenses ay 1,300,000. So, i-deduct lang natin yun sa ating total income at makukuha natin ang income before income tax na 1,350,000. Lastly, ibabawas natin yung income tax expense na 150,000. So, 1,350,000 minus 150,000, ang magiging income from continuing operation of Rosebud Company ay 1,200,000. So, the credit balance in the foreign translation adjustment account na kasama sa given ay component of other comprehensive income, and it is presented in a company's consolidated statements of shareholders' equity and carried over uh, to the consolidated balance sheet under shareholders' equity. So, ang sagot po dito sa problem na ito ay 1,200,000. Next problem po, i-discuss ni Miss Acabo.
For problem 5-7, Bain Company provided the following information for the current year. So, makikita naman po natin sa screen yung mga given na data. So, for additional information, meron daw yung Bain Company ng finished goods inventory noong January 1 na 4 million, noong December 31 na 3,600,000, at merong income tax rate na 30%. So the first question is, what amount should be reported as cost of goods manufactured? Letter A, 2 million. B, 2,150,000. C, 2,800,000. Letter D, 2,950,000. So, cost of goods manufactured is the cost of goods brought to completion during the year. So, para makuha ang amount ng cost of goods manufactured, mag-i-squeeze tayo. Gaya ng sinasabi na noong mga reporters sa mga naunang chapter, ay in-squeezing, yung mga add natin ay ating ibabawas at yung mga nabawas natin ay ating i-add. So, magsimula tayo sa cost of goods sold. Ayon sa problem, meron tayong cost of goods sold na 2,400,000. Ito ay i-add natin sa ating finished goods inventory noong December 31 at 3,600,000. So, 2,400,000 plus 3,600,000, makukuha natin yung ating goods available for use. Sa normal na paraan, para natin makuha yung goods available for use, ay i-add lang natin yung beginning finished goods inventory sa cost of goods manufactured. Pero dahil ang hinahanap natin dito is cost of goods manufactured, i-deduct natin yung finished goods inventory noong January 1 sa goods available for use. 6 million minus 4 million, makukuha na natin yung cost of goods manufactured natin na 2 million, which is letter A po sa ating choices.
Problem 5-8. Dahlia Company provided the following information for the current year. May sales daw po na 9,500,000, may interest revenue na 250,000, may gain sales of equipment na 100,000, may revaluation surplus during the year na 1,200,000, may share of profit of associate na 350,000, may cost of goods sold na 6 million, may finance cost na 150,000, may distribution cost na 500,000, may administrative expense na 300,000, may translation loss on foreign operation na 200,000, and mayroong income tax expense na 950,000. For this problem, ang hahanapin naman natin ay ang net income. To get the net income, we have to subtract the expenses from gross income. Sa problem, hindi pa given ang gross income, so hahanapin pa natin siya. To get the gross income, we have to subtract the cost of goods sold na 6 million to sales na 9,500,000. So, makakakuha na tayo ng gross income na 3,500,000. Pero may mga kailangan pa tayo dyan na idagdag kagaya ng other income na binubuo ng interest revenue tsaka gain on sale of equipment. So, 250,000 plus 100,000 ay makakakuha na tayo ng other income na 350,000. I-add natin sa kanya yung share of profit of associate na 350,000 din. So, makakakuha na tayo ng total income na 4,200,000. Ngayon naman, naibawas na natin sa kanya yung mga expenses kagaya ng distribution cost na 500,000, yung administrative expense na 300,000, tsaka yung finance cost na 150,000. Pag pinagsama natin lahat ng expenses ay makakakuha tayo ng 950,000 na expense. Tapos, isubtract na natin siya sa nakuha nating total income na 4,200,000. Makakakuha na tayo ng income before tax na 3,250,000. Hindi pa nagtatapos dyan. Kailangan pa nating ibawas yung income tax expense na 950,000 para makuha ang net income. So, 3,250,000 less 950,000, makukuha na natin ang net income na 2,300,000. Ito pong nasa babang part ay nagapakita lamang kung paano makukuha ang comprehensive income. So, kunin muna natin yung other comprehensive income. So, sa problem ay may revaluation surplus na 1,200,000. Ileles lang natin sa kanya yung translation loss on foreign operation na 200,000 para makakuha ng other comprehensive income na 1 million. Tapos, i-add natin yung nakuha nating net income kanina na 2,300,000 ay makukuha na natin ang comprehensive income na 3,300,000. So, ang sagot po dito ay yung sinolve natin kanina na net income na 2,300,000. Next po, Miss Valenzuela.
For problem 5-9, Rose Company, an investment entity, provided the following income and expenses for the current year. So, nakikita niyo naman yung mga data na no need na para basahin. Kaya mag-proceed na agad tayo sa question number 1 natin, which asks for the amount that should be reported as total income before tax. Since income before tax ang hinahanap natin, pwede rin natin siyang i-assume as gross income na from items under OIC. Before we proceed to our solution, ay define ko muna kung ano yung OIC or other comprehensive income para mas madali nating maintindihan ang solution. OIC comprises items of income and expense including reclassification adjustments that are not recognized in profit or loss as permitted by PFRS. In short, ito daw ay mga income and expenses na hindi nire-recognize sa ating profit or loss account. Before tayo mag-proceed sa ating solution ay identify ko rin muna kung alin pa ang components ng OIC mula sa mga given data sa problem. Let's first identify if meron bang unrealized gain or loss on equity investment measured at fair value through other comprehensive income. Equity investment is the money that is invested in a company by purchasing shares of that company in the stock market. So, meron ba dito? Of course, meron. At ito yung dividend income from investment na 9,200,000 and distribution income from trust na 500,000. Next na identify natin is kung may unrealized gain or loss ba on that investment measured at fair value through other comprehensive income. That investment is an investment made in a firm or project through the purchase of a large quantity of debt with the expectation of being paid back plus interest. So, dito sa problem, ang part nito ay ang income from bank treasury bills na 100,000. Next natin identify if may unrealized gain or loss from derivative contracts designated as cash flow hedge ba. A cash flow hedge involves the use of a hedging instrument or a derivative that essentially locks in the amount of a future cash inflow or outflow that would otherwise be impacted by movements in the market. As you can see, is naka-indicate na ito sa problem natin, so hindi na siya mahirap i-identify. However, may write-down of securities and derivatives held for trading din tayo. So, kailangan muna natin itong i-deduct from the income from dealing in securities and derivatives held for trading to get the net amount. Minus lang natin yung 150,000 from 600,000 and we'll get a net amount of 450,000. Balik na tayo sa ating pag-identify ng OCI. Siyempre, part din ng OCI yung other income amounting to 250,000 as well as yung interest income on deposits amounting to 700,000. Kung makikita nyo sa problem, yung other data aside sa mga binanggit ko ay parts na ng expense. So, no need na yon isama. So, dito ay isama lang natin yung mga amount ng mga income na na-identified as components ng OIC. So, ito yung mga dividends income from investment na 9,200,000, distribution income from trust na 500,000, interest income on deposits na 700,000, interest from income from treasury bills na 100,000, net amount of income from dealings in securities and derivatives held for trading na 450,000, and other income na 250,000. And we'll be able to get a total income amounting to 11,200,000. Thank you!
So for question number 2 po, ang hinahanap po natin is the total expense before tax. Since expense lang ang pinapahanap sa atin, mga expense account lang ang kukuhain natin. First, we have the administrative staff cost amounting to 3.8 million. Then yung sundry administrative cost which is 1.2 million. And last is yung finance cost na nagkakahalaga ng 300,000. Bakit po hindi kasaling income tax expense? Kasi nga po, ang hinahanap lang po natin dito is yung total expense before tax. Kaya hindi po siya kasama. So pag-add-in lang po natin yung mga expenses na nakuha natin. 3.8 million plus 1.2 million plus 300,000 which will give us a total expenses before tax of 5.3 million which is letter B. So next na po is Miss Linga.
For the third question naman in problem 5-9, ang hinahanap naman dito natin ay yung amount that should be reported as net income for the current year. A 5,900,000, B 3,700,000, C 4,200,000, and letter D 5,500,000. To get the answer, proceed tayo for the solution po. So, para makuha po natin yung net income, ganito po yung gagawin natin, Miss Camille Mirones. We just simply subtract the total expenses to the total income before tax. And since we already have the amount po that was being answered on the first and second question, let's calculate na. We have here 5,300,000, the total expenses which will be deducted from the total income before tax na 11,200,000 to get the 5,900,000. Then subtract the total income tax expense which was given already in the problem amounting to 1,700,000. And now we have a net income of 4,200,000 which was in letter C.
Problem 5-10. So, Empress Company, an investment entity, provided the following income and expenses for the current year. A beginning retained earnings na 3 million, dividends declared na 1 million, 8.4 million na sales, 100,000 dividend income, and inventory beginning na 1 million, purchases amounting to 3,700,000, 1,540,000 na salaries, contribution to employees pension fund na 300, delivery na 200,000, miscellaneous expenses na 120,000, a 10,000 na doubtful accounts expense, 80,000 na depreciation expense, 100,000 loss on sale of investment, 500,000 income from discontinued operation net of tax, 150,000 na income tax expense, 850,000 inventory ending at cost, at 700,000 na net realizable value of inventory. So the question number 1 is what amount should be reported as cost of goods sold? So cost of goods sold is the total amount your business paid as a cost directly related to the sale of products. Alam na alam ninyo na kung paano kunin ang cost of goods sold, which is calculated by adding starting or beginning inventory to the purchases and deducting the ending inventory to the sum of the first two items. Therefore, ang akunin lamang natin mula sa given data ay iyong nabanggit sa formula ng COGS, which are the inventory on January 1 amounting to 1 million, then add natin ang purchases na 3,700,000 at ang sum ng dalawa ang natawag natin na goods available for sale, and from here, deduct natin ang inventory noong December 31 at net realizable value na 700,000. So, bakit yung 700,000 instead of 850,000 at cost? Kasi sabi nga ni sa IAS 2, the inventory should be measured at the lower of cost and net realizable value or NRV. Furthermore, when we say net realizable value, it is generally equal to the selling price of the inventory goods less the selling cost or completion and disposal. And NRV prevents overstating or understating of an asset value. So much with that, and add or deduct lamang natin lahat na, so 1 million plus 3.7 million minus 700,000 and makukuha na natin ang cost of goods sold na 4 million which is letter B from the choices. Next problem po ay discuss ni Mr. Peregrin.
For problem 5-10, question 2, what amount should be reported as total expenses before income tax? So, given naman na yung mga expenses sa problem, so kukuhain na lang natin sa given yung mga expenses before income tax. So, una na rito yung salaries amounting to 1,540,000, contribution to Employees Pension Fund na 300,000, delivery amounting to 200,000, miscellaneous expense na 120,000, doubtful accounts expense na 10,000, depreciation expense na 80,000, and loss on sale of investment amounting to 100,000. So, yun na lahat yung mga expenses before income tax. At kapag pinag-add natin lahat, the total expenses for before income tax is 2,350,000, letter A. For the next question po ay i-discuss ni Ms. Acabo.
Dito naman po sa ating question number 3, ang hinahanap is net income for the current year. Katulad lang din po ito ng mga naunang question. Kung makikita nyo po sa screen, ang kukuhain po muna natin dito is yung total income. Para po makuha yon, yung sales na 8,400,000 ay maminusan ng cost of goods sold na 4 million. Makukuha po natin yung gross income na 4,400,000. Then, i-add lang po natin yung dividend income na 100,000. We will get the total income na 4,500,000. Then, dito po sa total income, ililess natin lahat ng expenses. So, 4,500,000 minus the total expenses na 2,350,000 na nakuha ni Mr. Peregrin sa question number 2, makukuha natin yung income before tax na 2,150,000. Since merong income tax expense, ibabawas natin ito dito. So, 2,150,000 minus 150,000, mayroon na tayong income from continuing operations na 2 million. To finally get the net income, i-add lang natin dito yung income from discontinued operation which is amounting to 500,000. We will get the net income na 2,500,000. Which is letter B po sa ating choices.
For question 4, what amount should be reported as retained earnings on December 31? So para makuha natin ng retained earnings on December 31, i-add lang natin ang retained earnings ng January 1 na 3 million sa net income na 2,500,000 na nakuha kanina ni Ms. Acabo. So ang makukuha nating total is 5,500,000. Then itong 5,500,000 is ima-minus sa dividends declared na 1 million at makukuha na natin ang retained earnings ng December 31 na 4,500,000. For the chapter summary, income statement is a formal statement showing the financial performance or profit or loss of an entity for a period of time, which is the financial performance of an entity is primarily measured in terms of the level of income earned by the entity through the effective and efficient utilization of resources. Also, the financial performance is also known as the results of operations. The income statement for a period presents the income, expenses, gains, losses, and net income or loss recognized during the period. PAS 1 paragraph 82A provides that the other comprehensive income section shall present line items for amounts of other comprehensive income in the period classified by nature. Reclassification adjustments or amounts reclassified to profit or loss in the current period that were recognized in other comprehensive income in the current or previous periods. There are components of other comprehensive income included in the following. First is unrealized gain or loss on equity investment measured at fair value, other comprehensive income. Unrealized gain or loss on debt management measured at fair value through other comprehensive income. Gain or loss from translating the financial statements of a foreign operation, revaluation surplus during the year, unrealized gain or loss from derivative contracts designated as cash flow hedge, remeasurements of defined benefit plan, change in fair value attributable to credit risk of a financial liability designated at fair value, profit or loss. Under Pass 1, paragraph 81 provides that an entity has two options of presenting comprehensive income, namely two-statement approach, single-statement approach. Two-statement approach is it is an income statement showing the components of profit or loss. Also, it is a statement of comprehensive income beginning with profit or loss as shown in the income statement plus or minus the components of the other comprehensive income. Single statement approach is this is the combined statement showing the components of profit or loss and components of comprehensive income in a single statement of comprehensive income. So let's proceed to the sources of income. Sales of merchandise to customer, which the income from sales shall include all sales to customers during the period minus sales returns, allowances, and discounts. In rendering of services, the income from rendering of services, among others, includes professional fees, media advertising commissions, insurance agency commissions, admission fees for artistic performance, and tuition fees. Use of entry resources. This income includes interest, rent, royalty, and dividend income, and disposal of resources other than products. The examples included gain on sale of investments, gain on sale of property, plant and equipment, and gain on sale of intangible assets. And for the last slide, classifications of expenses. Distribution costs or selling expenses constitute costs which are directly related to selling, advertising, and delivery of goods of customers. Administrative expenses constitute costs of administering the business. These narrowly include all operating expenses not related to selling and cost of goods sold. Also, other expenses are those expenses which are not directly related to the distribution of administrative function. That's all and thank you.